No, honestly, that is nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
Welcome back to No Nonsense. How's that? What do you think of that? I'm going to go welcome back now from now on. It's going to be...
Yeah, it means... Because they're listening every week.
New listeners, like, you'll feel... You just, like, you know, pretend that you're part of the cool crowd. And you go, yeah, I'm back, you know. And then next week you'll be back and be fine, so don't worry about it. If you're feeling awkward, if it's your first week, it's fine. You know, just go along with it. Welcome back to No Nonsense. The only podcast that lies to you, the title.
Yeah, you see, it's satire. You see, we're expecting a lot of new people this week with Ireland drawing a game, you see.
I mean, like Ireland having a game that brings everybody back. I mean, that's the best thing about international football is that this time last year, Will, do you know what it was? Do you know what game we were playing?
No, I'm trying to think.
I'll give you a hint. It was a 5-0 hammering.
That we did? Against us?
Against us. Of course, against us, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, what game was that? I thought it'd go down in history if it was for us. Who beat us 5-0? Oh, England.
Yeah, that was this time last year, which doesn't seem like that long ago because it wasn't that many games ago. You know?
Yeah. It doesn't really count. It was kind of Nations League-y friendly stuff. It's like no one really
I felt it counted to me, damn it. Jack Grealish and Declan Rice scoring. That counted. In more ways than one. That counted. But you forget about that, you know, because it was so long ago. And coming to this game, this Ireland game, it was like, this is feeling good. I feel good with this game. I think we can beat these Hungarians or whoever they are, you know, because you don't see them week to week. You don't see them like, oh, there's trouble in that defense, you know, every week. You remember, who's the last game we played? Who did we play? And you've no idea. And then there's like, it's all about vibes. International football, in between the games, it's all about the noises and the sounds coming out of the camp. And this time, pretty enjoyable noises and sounds, I will say.
Pretty enjoyable. Know? I will say they probably got a bit ahead of themselves. You know, it's a World Cup qualifier. We could beat anyone, actually, now that I think of it. But it was weird to hear the Ireland camp coming out and like Heimir saying and some of the players being like, no more excuses. The time for development is done. We must win. Don't know if that's going to happen. I would like that, but you don't need to be saying it.
Yeah, for no reason at all. It felt like some kind of project was finally coming to fruition. It's like now the time's like, oh, it is? Okay, right. So yeah, it was all very exciting this coming into this Ireland camp for whatever reason. I don't know, but it felt like it was really going to happen. And then, like, was it 2 minutes in the game? 3 minutes?
2 minutes, I believe. Yeah. Varga.
Varga, not VAR this time. It was Varga who, in a weird goal, I think that's the only way to describe it, a weird goal where, I mean, thanks to the video replays, we can find the exact culprit, which was Doherty, who was lazily coming out from the fence after, you know, heading the ball back to their player, not really heading out of danger, back into the middle, lazily coming out, kept Varga onside, and he gets to push the back, and it's like a weird, like, acrobatic, but also kind of unathletic looking finish, but it flies in the top corner, top of the net, and everyone's kind of stunned, like, what the fuck was that? You know, and like I say, all that's left then is to assign blame, which was Doherty, because he did both things. And that didn't change out the game. He was at fault a couple times. RT did a bit at him at half time where they're like, he did it here, and he did it here. I was like, no.
He had a shocker. And it's like, he has had a few shockers in his last few run-outs for Heimir, I think. This time, though, I feel like it wasn't fully his fault. Classic international management thing. It's like, all right, here's your squad. Here's where they all play. All right. I'm going to move them around, though. What if he was over on this side for the first time ever? It was just very strange. And I don't know, Doherty was all over the place, it felt like, because of that.
Do you think this was Heimer's revenge on Doherty?
Maybe, yeah. Make him look as bad as he can. No. Further left. More up.
45 minutes my best and all that. At the time, he kind of was like, you know, made no deal of it. He's never made a deal of anything that's come at him. I remember the Shamrock Rovers manager had to go like, oh yeah, you know, because he says something like, yeah, you basically have to be playing in the top 5 leagues if you want to play in the team, because that's who will be playing international competitions, which, you know, one of those things that it's true, but you shouldn't say it, you know? And they came at him hard, and everyone's like, this is not what the international coach would be saying. We're trying to promote our games. He never came back with anything. He never he just kind of, sorry.
Yeah.
But does anyone disagree? He didn't even give it any of that. He didn't give it back at all. And I feel like the Doherty thing was the same thing. But this week now, he was like, I know you play right back typically for your club, but how do you fancy left back? And he stitched him up. Will get you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have a tinfoil hat on ready, I don't know what you're doing. But if you if you don't stick it on, Doherty stitched up by Hanglerson to have a stinker of a game. 45 minutes of his worst.
45 minutes of his worst. And I think as well, what makes it stranger though really is you could have your tinfoil hat and think that, but there is no way that the ball going to Jake O Brien every single second of the game on the right, up at right wing back was an accident. That was the strangest game plan of all the players on the pitch to make everything run through him non-stop. It went all game.
That was another dig at Doherty.
Yeah.
This could have been you. This could have been you if you had ruined it, Doherty. Yeah, I mean, like I say, that is international football. You have, certain players, but you don't have the choice of two left backs in every position, or two strikers or whatever. So you got to make do what you have. And Doherty's left back didn't have a great game. Jake O Brien, more of a centre back, but is playing right back for Everton. I've seen him a couple of times, and I thought his crosses is probably the worst part of his game as a right back. You wanted to be a bit more of a, like Seamus Coleman obviously was a great right back, because he could get up and on the pitch, he could defend, but he could put in a cross as well. I saw Jake Bryan a couple of times and thought, yeah, look, he's a big guy. He's 6'6". He can't be expecting to whip balls in. You never see Dan Burn whipping the ball in. It's just he's a defensive kind of right back. And then this game, he must have put in, I would say, 15 crosses. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think he must have put in 15 crosses.
15 crosses. The game plan genuinely was get the ball to O'Brien, let him whip it in. And not only that, whenever there's a throw in, even near the box, O'Brien's taking it on either side of the pitch. It was
moving those big tree trunks across the pitch to get the throw. Let's take it, Jake.
And then he'd go all the way over to the left wing to take a throw in because someone's waiting for him to get there. But then they'd go short with it. It's like, anyone could have done this. I felt like the plan wasn't really perfected.
No, that's it. He had a pretty good game. He didn't get roasted by anybody. And he got on a lot of ball. He got on a lot of ball. A lot of touches for Jake O Brien. But yeah, you think he's so big, you want him in the box. And maybe Doherty put it in. And the second half, it was more Manning who's putting the ball in.
Yeah.
And he did have better crosses than Jake O Brien. And that's where, two of the goals came from Manning crosses? No.
Manning crosses one. And a lot of, Bene came on as well he came on for O'Brien, but he was in that O'Brien role and it was a lot different. He was just getting by guys. He was hassling people in the box. He was winning a lot of headers in the box as well. They looked totally different when Ogbene came on. That
first ball that went in and Ogbene leaped over your man's shoulders. It was literally semi-pro where he got a free against him. So people can't just jump that high, Ogbene. Okay, they've been putting crosses in all night and no one's jumped that high. And they get a free out for nothing. I mean, the athleticism of the guy was unbelievable when he came on.
Yeah,
just a different level. And that's what we needed. We just needed men in green shirts flying through the air. That was the general game. Jake O Brien's going to put it in. Don't worry about that. We got that covered. Now we need everybody flying through the air and getting your head on it, getting your foot on it. I mean, Evan Ferguson's goal, at first it looked kind of scrappy and how do you get that in? And then when you look at the replay, it's he jumped in the air, of course, and he swung a leg at us. Nothing can be just slotted in or finessed in. Everything had to be some kind of body part being thrown at the ball to get
fumbled in. Yeah, and it was so strange as well because we should mention as well, up until Hungary got a red card, I mean, we barely touched the ball. We barely touched the ball. And then the second half, it was all us because obviously they were down to 10 men and they were trying to hold on to the lead. But up until the red card, it was such a strange match because we, as casuals coming in, were watch out for Szoboszlai. He plays for Liverpool. He's we know that. He must be good. It felt like literally we were terrified of Szoboszlai. Whenever he was on the ball, we gave him 50 yards and just do whatever you want with it. We're not going to come near you. It was mad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Burnley have played Liverpool yet, but I think we'll get to see that again with Josh Cullen. I don't know if he could get near him, Will.
Maybe
I
that
don't know.
was it.
I
Yeah.
I think he knew who Szoboszlai was, and he was like, right, I'm gonna just not give him an inch, and then he's just like
Where the hell's he
waltzing around the
gone?
place.
Yeah.
Where's that guy? He was here a second ago. He's an unbelievable player. Which again, people were kind of like saying that he was a bit of a flop last year. I remember distinctly people being like, he's not that good, is he? He's on Henderson, you know. And now if that was Liverpool fans or that was rival fans trying to like undermine him, but he looked pretty good there tonight, I have to say, or last night, I should say. Yeah, he was definitely the danger man, and they were much better than us in the first half. Like the first ball we got, I think it was Collins. We had the kick off, went back to Collins, and he just like dragging the ball along up to Evan Ferguson, get his nut on it, and we were literally putting our fist in the air, like yes. We are back, you know. This is what we're all about. And then they got the goal, and then the next 5 minutes of them just like pinging the ball around our players, and we're like, "Oh no, this is going to be a long night. We cannot get close." Then they score, you know, the goal from the set piece. I'm like, well, that's our thing. That's they can't have two things. One is ours, the other is yours. Halftime comes, and we're like, you know, this is going to be brutal. And like I say, it was just the discipline, like that sending off was the turning point.
And it was mental. Like even when we were watching the pub in real time, we were like, "Whoa, that was crazy! You shouldn't have done that."
No, like it was so petulant. Like he kind of got pulled back by the ref, and the ref didn't see it, and he literally just saw red and was like, "Well, fuck this! Next person gets the ball, it's getting their Achilles raked down." Like, what are you doing?
One of the rare tackles that's so bad that it's a straight red, but it's a straight red that the ref sees on the pitch, and you don't even hear about VAR. They're not a word of it. The ref's like, "Oh, I saw it. There's no need to check anything."
Yeah, in this day and age, it's always like, well, I better check just in case. Like, oh no, I'm sure. I know exactly what happened there.
I think I heard him.
Yeah. It was just the petulance of it, because you can see the replay of the whole thing playing out, and you see his face like turn. I'm like, oh no. Like he's actually just lost control there. A lot of people say they'll lose control, but he really, I don't think he probably even remembers that happening. You know, I think he just like blacked out and was like, oh no, what happened? What did I do this time? But like a lot of times that happens, and then it's Hungary who like, okay, right, close ranks, and they just squeeze the life out of the game, and we can't get a sniff the ball, and it's like, no, the team with 10 men look like they have an extra man. But it was the opposite. It was exactly what you logically would think would happen. We were like, right, let's put them under more pressure. And the crowd got into us. The ball started flying in. We had a bit more space to put the crosses, maybe. I don't know. But they never really recovered from that. They never kind of got another moment. They had a few breakaways, which did look dangerous. And there was a few last-stage tackles. But like we really had them under serious pressure. And then that Adamita goal, just rising by everybody. And we would do that classic thing of like, he hasn't touched the ball since he came on. He's fucking useless. He hasn't fucking touched the ball. I didn't even notice he was on.
Ghost
and then just fucking flying through the air, headed in the goal. And then he did the thing where he ran off to celebrate. I don't know who was like grabbing like, come on, let's back to the centre. And I was like, whoa, let's get ahead of ourselves here. We don't want to lose this game now. We had a few more chances, but like, I don't know. Maybe in the stadium it felt like more that they could go on and win it, but like I think we did very well to get the 2 goals. Like, didn't really he didn't cut them apart. Like, you know, he was just let's throw it in here and enough.
What is the last time Ireland came back from 2 goals down to get a result in a game? Has that ever happened in our life?
It sure has. I don't remember half the games. I mean, didn't we draw with Luxembourg and Armenia and Azerbaijan? I bet we were 2 goals down at them as well.
No, I think we scored too early in those games.
Well, that's happened a lot, where we score first and we get pegged back. But 2 goals down, come back. I mean, maybe was the Henry handball were we 2 goals down? Or was that from the first leg? I don't remember. I'm sure it has, but I won't.
It's a rarity.
More, Will. It was good. It was a good thing. But yeah, it was one of those games. Well, we were saying as the week was going on, people were like, "Why am I going to this game? I should go to this game."
Yeah, it felt so strange because like
it was
the day
sold out then, I think.
Yeah, it was fully sold out. It was the most highly attended game across all of the World Cup qualifiers in that round. So like in any of the countries. But it's just like for some reason, like you said, coming into it, maybe it's just because it's a long time since it's felt like we can actually do anything in a qualifier for a tournament. Felt like a long time since Ireland games actually mattered, that we might also be able to get a result. That seems like forever ago.
Yeah, it's the thought of a World Cup. Obviously, last one was 2002. So it's like what we're saying about, Liverpool. You need to get that point where it's not even on the horizon. You're not even thinking about it. You just want to win a game. You just win the next game. Then you go, hang on, are we going to go to the World Cup? It kind of snuck up on everybody. It was like Hungary, who are supposedly going through a bad patch, they haven't won a game, and this continues. They haven't won a game in a while now.
Last year.
That was part of their bad patch. That was one of their... Whenever we beat you, it's like, okay, we need to reassess the youth structure. What's going on in this country football-wise? What is happening that we're losing to Ireland? Then it was obviously Portugal, who are the strangest big international team there is.
Yeah.
They can go out and beat France or Spain today, or lose to Iceland in a Nations League game with all their best players trying hard.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like, okay, that's probably the best big team to get. And then it's Armenia. It's a small group. There's no kind of Greece that we usually always lose to, or Denmark, or
Wales.
Serbia.
Yeah.
Wales, that's another one. So it was kind of like, why not? And it's over in November as well. So it's like we have this two international breaks, and then it's like that's the World Cup qualification.
Yeah,
which I think helps people get excited more, because it's just a few games in a few months. How hard is that? Yeah, we definitely got carried away with it. I mean, I guess the upshot is we're still in it.
Yeah,
technically, which we were always, but we're still in it.
Well, I mean, we've had qualification, like 2 minutes into the game when they scored. It did feel like, well, this is over already.
Oh, yeah, it was. It definitely was. If they hadn't got that man sent off, it's like we're not beating anybody. The camp is dead. Hagrimson probably walks away at the end of it. It's a totally different analysis. I mean, we were in the pub, so we could kind of hear Richie Sadler and Dieter Hammond.
They didn't look happy, I'll tell you.
It was like they were coming on a national death of some sort. You know what I mean? They were just like, yeah, this is just awful. This is just an awful, awful day. We didn't see at the end. We were too busy, jumping around the pub with our 2-2 draw. We didn't hear the analysis after the game, but I'm sure they were probably as shocked as everyone else was that we managed to turn that around. But if I was a Hungary fan, this would be crisis point. Like, that was a joke. Jesus, 2-0 up, and we lose to that crowd. One guy gets the up. Like, imagine if that was, Cullen who did that, who stamped down someone's foot because he was dragged back. Like, get this guy out of the team. That's it. Get him out of here. Like, what an idiot. So awful stuff for them. Great stuff for us.
Yeah, great stuff for us. I did see, so Sammy Smodics is out of the squad now with an injury, but his replacement didn't go for a like replacement. They brought up, I can't remember his name, Honahan from Shamrock Rovers, but he's a left back, which is like, interesting.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I'm sure, like, Doherty's like, what about
all part of the
Smodics,
Heimir revenge. He was bringing him in no matter who got injured. So, make him play the game. I get him embarrassed. Maybe we'll try another left back, Doherty.
So it's like, and I think it's like, it was a good result, but it's nearly a problem with watching Ireland, and they managed to do this a lot. It's usually bad. The results are usually bad, but they give you just enough to think, but maybe next time, maybe next time will be different. And it feels like this time is like that as well, where it's like, okay, we can beat Armenia, I think, based on that second half against 10 people. But, like, it could also be, we could show up like we did in the first half in that game and get beaten 2-0 by Armenia. I don't know.
Yeah, it was shout out to Darren Maloney, who once again,
my God,
he was just looking at like a fan, where he was, as we were losing 2-0, he was talking about like 25 years since the World, more than, or not, maybe 20 odd years since the World Cup. There's clearly problems with the youth structures and the grassroots, but it won't take a second to score a goal. It's like,
and he himself,
which would fix all that, Darren. What are you talking about? I mean, like, obviously we're not producing enough players, but if we could score a goal tonight, hey, we could be going to the World Cup, and wouldn't that be a great piss up?
It wasn't just that as well. I mean, non-stop throughout the game. Every time a Hungary player would go down or would get tackled, my God, it was like, this cheating bastards, time wasting again. Look at them, they're not hurt. And then, like, if any, the similar, it would show a replay of a player getting kicked in the head by an Irish player. Silence. Like, not a word about, okay, maybe I was wrong there. You know, it was just like, oh, these fuckers.
Yeah, no, they're watching like they were fans, which they are, you know. And it's like what I said about Sky Sports. If they're like, they have what, Gary Neville on commentary and then they have whatever. It's like, it's Man United fans watching this.
Yeah.
You know, like, who cares? Like, you know, don't try and be, oh, what if there's a Swansea fan watching this? Like, they're mostly Man United fans. It's a Man United game, you know. Like, just care to who's watching. So, yeah, it was funny to hear because it was like fan TV. But yeah, I don't know. Where does that leave us now? We've drawn with Hungary. Obviously, we play them again next. I'm assuming.
We play Armenia next. Armenia tomorrow. Yeah. Armenia were beaten 5-0 by Portugal, I think. So they're rooted to the bottom. I assume that makes we're joint second with Hungary, I assume, or joint third. Whatever way you want to look at
it. Yeah, well, joint second, joint third. Let's just game this out, will we?
Here it comes.
Let's just get ahead of ourselves, shall we?
Yeah.
We beat Armenia 3-0. 3-0. Yep. If they beat them 5-0, we beat them 3-0. We go to Portugal then after that?
I think so, yeah.
In Portugal or at home?
So we've got Portugal away on the 11th of October.
Okay, Portugal away, 1-1 draw, I would say.
Yeah. Ronaldo's still there. That can't be good for the camp.
We'll lose to Portugal, right? We'll probably lose to Portugal. Hopefully not by a demoralising amount. Hopefully a 2-0, you know. And we'll
3-1. That'd be good.
That would be great. If we could score a goal. If it went 2-0 and then 2-1.
Yeah.
And then 3-1 at the end. But that doesn't count. That was the 89th minute.
We were up the other end of the pitch trying to score.
We were wrecked. So we were tired. You know, they had more subs than us. That's just a better football nation. That's not fair. 3-1. Then we go to Hungary, I suppose, for the return leg.
That's a tough
That has to be a win, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know if we're going to manage that.
Well, if we draw that game, it'll come down to who beats Armenia more.
Yeah.
I think Varga is going to do well against Armenia. I think he's a good striker. Unless their whole camp like collapses, unless they're all pointing their finger at each other, there's infighting, the whole thing just completely falls apart, which hopefully it does.
Yeah, but, I mean, they've a player missing straight red card. Does he miss 2 games, 1 game?
He missed 1 anyways, yeah. I don't know if there's a 3 games ban in such a short group, but I mean, it was dangerous to play it well. It wasn't like, you know. So yeah, I mean, our best hope is to beat Armenia well and draw away with Hungary in the Puskás Arena, in that raucous Hungarian crowd. Remember them at the Euros? It'd be a tough fest to go, is what I'm saying. And assuming we'll lose to Portugal home and away. But Hungary might get a draw against Portugal at home, and that could be the difference. So we could go to Hungary, draw, beat Armenia by more, but if they get a draw against Portugal, that's us out. So really, we have to go and beat Hungary
away
in their backyard.
No problem.
But that was always not always the situation, but like, okay, say we had won this game tonight. That would have been huge. But like, we were kind of thinking a draw or a win. I guess we were all thinking we were going to beat Hungary. That was the optimism, wasn't it? It was like, we're going to beat Hungary at home. We might get a draw away, and then we have the group sewn up. Second place playoff against hopefully Estonia, and then we're off to the World Cup. Simple as that.
I mean, it's so funny because it's been so long since we're in a World Cup, obviously. And back then it was just like, we had a good team. We could beat anyone on our day. Now it's like the cards have to fall perfectly in every way for us to even have a chance.
And they have fallen pretty well with this group, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the optimism was better when I knew less. Having seen them play, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a task and a half to do this. So, but yeah, look, if we'd lost that, it would have been completely over, because then we would have had to beat them and hopefully get a result at some stage against Portugal as well, and hope that they don't get, like, if we can draw or beat Portugal, then Hungary can draw or beat Portugal. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, we're still in it. We got the draw. Hopefully we've rattled them sufficiently that they drop points against Armenia or something. But we do need a bit of luck to go our way, I think.
hopefully we've rattled them a bit and they're pointing fingers, but hopefully we haven't rattled them enough to where they're like, okay, we really have to teach Ireland a lesson. That would be bad.
Oh, that's going to happen. I'm sure they hate us. I'm sure they were like, what the fuck was that? That wasn't a football match. You know, the classic things they say about us, you know, that
Yeah.
they always say British style, which I don't have to do that on purpose, but it is quite annoying, you know, the kind of, well, what we were doing, long balls, big lads. I mean, the size of our team. It's huge.
It's gigantic. Yeah, because it's funny. Like when we went through the squad not too long ago, it's mostly defenders and attackers, and there was like 2 guys on the list for midfielders in the squad. But that's because it's all big, huge lads at the back and all the big, huge strikers.
Yeah. And we have like Mikey Johnston and Finney Zaz, but like we were kind of just bypassing them and like just getting the ball in the box.
Give it to
Evan
Manning,
Ferguson,
get on one of
Collins,
the big lads, yeah.
O'Brien, you know, getting it stuck in, getting the mixer. It was great. Honestly, as an entertainment, as a
Great, yeah.
as a 90 minutes or more of television, it was great, which you couldn't say about other Ireland games. Other Ireland games were boring and bad.
Oh yeah,
So,
I think that was probably the most entertaining Ireland game I've seen in years and years. Like, and again, we didn't even win, but it's just like it was fun though.
yeah, I mean, the best game that we had recently-ish was a game we missed because we thought we were going to lose. Remember the Scotland game, 1-3-0, we missed that one. we were, I don't know where we were watching that game, and they were like, fuck, we're winning 3-0 against Scotland. And then we saw like that goal, the unbelievable, the third goal. But it was great entertainment, and we're still in it. And yeah, I don't know. If I had to call it now, Will, if you were going to make me call it, are you going to make me call it?
Yeah.
Damn it. I think we'll do it. I think we'll get to a playoff. Fuck it. Go on. But it won't be because we beat Portugal. It'll be because Hungary
Portugal
drop
fucked
points.
it. Yeah,
Portugal
Hungary.
Portugal will be fine. Hungary will drop points against either Armenia or us. But it won't be because we outplay anybody. To that much.
Yeah, and I think that is the thing as well, is like, I think, because we know what happens usually with Ireland and qualifying for tournaments, we're not feeling too optimistic. But like, if you look at it another way, Hungary did absolutely just capitulate and throw away a 2-0 lead against a team that were way better than.
Yeah.
Like, without much encouragement to do, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of out of nowhere. So, and like, even, I know it was sold out in the Aviva, but when it was 2-0 down, it was like you could only hear the Hungary fans. So it's not like they were overcome by the raucous atmosphere or anything. It's just, they just lost their heads, or one player lost their head, and then they were punished.
Yeah. Well, this is why we're optimistic, because they aren't the greatest team we've ever come up against in a qualifier. So that was the reason for optimism. So we did see a glimpse of it, but I just think the first few minutes,
it was scary. They were so.
We
much
were
better.
like, oh no, like this is no excuses time. You know, the manager said that, and here we are. Like, if we have no excuses, then what's this about? So yeah, it's not looking too optimistic, but we do have a chance.
Yeah.
They say many garbage things.
Something we missed during the week, I guess, and from what I've read all year.
Yeah, first I heard of it.
First I heard of this. Daniel Levy is out of Spurs. It's a shock to everyone. That's what we've kept hearing. And then you do like read one article, and it's like they've been planning this since January when they got someone to review his not him, but just reviews. Spurs got someone to review the lack of on-field success. I guess that was in January before they won the Europa League, which I was thinking about this, Will. It must be probably the least important trophy. I'm not trying to go with Spurs, right? Or have a go at the fact that, you know, Arsenal never won it. But just when you think about it, like, the start of the season, the number one is the league. Everyone wants to win the league in their own, you know, in their own country. If you've won the league like 5 of the last 6 times or something like that, sure, Champions League maybe might be the next step. It would be nice to, you know, become champions of Europe. But even then, it's like the league is number one. Champions League, yeah, if you didn't win the league, but you won the Champions League, still a pretty good season. Still a pretty solid year. You can't have any complaints. After that, I would say the FA Cup, because like it's something. It's like, look, if it was easy, everyone won it. You know, we won it. They didn't. You know, so the League Cup is the same thing. It's like it's something. It's like look, again, if it was easy to win, we'd all win it. You know, the Europa League then is like, it's really, every time someone's in it, well, in the Premier League anyways, we'll say, it's like, well, if he wins this, they're back in the Champions League, it might save his job. You know, if he loses this, he's out. In this case, obviously, you know, the Europa League winners got 2 people sacked from their job, but it just doesn't save anybody, does it? Like it might prolong them a little bit, but it's not like, okay, this is huge. Even if it's the second most prestigious trophy by right, but really it's probably the 5th for most teams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it saves anyone's jobs. And it's funny because even think of Moyes at West Ham winning the Conference League. That felt like a huge moment.
That was amazing.
Like
the Conference League above this, yeah.
Well, like West Ham have won in Europe, but like not too long later, he was out on his arse. They were like, nah, whatever. That was ages ago, though. You know what I mean? Like it just.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that he got sacked from West Ham. That's crazy that they did that.
Mental, but like you know what I mean. It's those kind of trophies. It's like the players and the managers. It means so much to them and the fans as well.
Yeah.
But those trophies, like, but they don't really bring in any money. Like you know what I mean. You don't get that much for winning the Europa League. We're Spurs. We need to be winning things that give us hundreds of millions of pounds.
Well, this is it. I mean, like from the outside looking in, you're looking at Spurs and the way Daniel Levy kind of operates. And like, this isn't the first time I've heard Levy out, you know?
Yeah.
So you're kind of thinking, well, this is obviously what he's been asked to do. This is like the plan of the club. We know for years that he's kind of the face of the club, but he's not the majority owner. He just kind of runs the transfers and the operations of it. But like you're under the assumption that like, well, obviously if they didn't want him to do this, they'd tell him to stop. They'd tell him spend more than 42% of the profit on player wages. They're the lowest in the league. We've seen these stats for years.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have control of the club. So it's like, well, he must be doing a good job for somebody, you know, not the Spurs fans maybe, or the players' wages. But like, you know, you think, why is he getting sacked? And then like say there's this American company coming in to audit him essentially, to see why it hasn't been translating on the pitch, all this saving of money. Why are we winning anything even though we save all this money?
And like you said, an audit came in, and this did apparently come out of the blue, kind of, for Daniel Levy. Apparently he was told the morning of that, like, you've been relieved of your duties, get the fuck out. Which is crazy that there's not like a incredibly long gardening period and like fucking notice period for the CEO of a football club. It's like you can get sacked in a day. That's mad. So It was a bit crazy how suddenly it happened. And it's funny because when it first happened, the word was that he had stepped down from his role. That was like the official headline everywhere.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, it came out that he was made step down. So he was sacked. Like, I have it here from Sky Sports. They have a nice little summary. Says Daniel Levy exited after nearly 25 years as a chairman in charge of Tottenham. The change was driven by Tottenham's owners, the Lewis family, who felt the time was right for fresh leadership to deliver more consistent on-field success. Despite Levy's acumen in transforming Spurs financially and infrastructure-wise, the return of just 2 trophies over his tenure fell short compared to clubs such as Chelsea, the family felt. Which, I mean, like, yes, I get that, but it's like, why now though? Why after they finally do win a trophy? It's like that was actually never good enough. He's just done it.
It feels a bit unfair to compare him to Chelsea over his tenure as well. Like the brand was Chelsea, you just had endless money and no financial fair play. Like how come we're not like them? It's like, well, it's fucking obvious we're not like them, you know?
Because like the whole thing about Spurs was like, yes, they didn't win a trophy for a long time, but they went from a club that was closer to the bottom of the table than the top up to being in the, like, quote unquote top 6. And they had like the best stadium in the world, and they had like top players, and they spent money, and like they did everything the right way. So it's funny then for the board to just be like, why were we doing it that way? Why didn't we just cheat like the other clubs?
Yeah, I guess that's the what people are speculating, I guess. And a lot of it is speculation because we don't know the ins and outs of it, but you're thinking, right, he's been doing this for years very successfully. If that was your goal, was to, you know, have the stadium and be a well-run club and be financially sustainable, which is, you know, what the PSR is meant to be about. But this, if everyone was actually financially sustainable, they'd be like Spurs and there'd be no Premier League. There wouldn't be any of this transfer deadline day. It'd be very boring. You know, that's what it'd be like. So now you're thinking, okay, well, obviously they're changing their tactic here a little bit. Otherwise, they keep on Daniel Levy because what he can do. And then there's this kind of talk of, well, they must be selling the club to a Saudi billionaire, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, why else? I did see one of the clubs or one of the ownership brands or teams that were linked with them was Qatar, and this came up at the time when United was for sale as well. And a man I totally forgot about, Sheikh Yassim. Do you remember him? He was in for buying Man United, and he was a man who there were only 2 photos of, and there was no proof that he ever existed.
Yeah, I do remember all that stuff.
So he popped back up, but apparently ownership remains unchanged, and there are no sale plans for the club. Amanda
Back in the board for the board itself, Will. What does that mean? This is usually when they lie and they say the opposite of what's actually going to happen, and then like in a week they go, well, it's all done. It's sold.
I mean, because it's funny, it says here, what's next for Tottenham? The club is set to pursue a new era focused on breaking the cycle of underachievement with more decisive transfer dealings and possible wage flexibility, aiming to win more often. That sounds to me like we're going to get someone in, we're going to spend loads of money, we don't really care anymore.
Get ready for new sponsorship, Yeah. Spoiler alert, it's us. We're sponsoring ourselves through a shell company or a Chinese blending company, whatever it is. But yeah, that's kind of a fancy way of saying we're just going to forget the whole...
Fuck this, they're saying.
Fuck this. This is no crack at all. All that for the Europa League against Man United, against the worst Man United team that's ever been in the final. Nah, not worth it. Not with all the money in the world, they said.
But it's just a real sign of, like, no matter how high up you are in any job or anything, it's like, don't bother. You know what I mean? You can do everything right. You can be Daniel Levy. You can turn Tottenham around from nothing into this huge club and do everything perfectly and be like one of the smartest financial guys in the game. And then one day they're just going to go, this is boring. You're fired.
Well, if you look at it objectively, like, he's taking it from wherever you were to where you're now. You have this massive stadium. Like, say, everyone, begrudgingly maybe says they're actually a really well-run club. I know we all take the piss out of Tottenham and Spurs in this, but it's like, it's a really well-run club. So if you were a potential investor, like, they are the kind of club, they're like, oh, that's a good platform. Like, it has all the structures in place, a great stadium in London. I mean, that's where you'd invest your oil money if you had it. So maybe it's just as ruthless as that, where it's like, thanks for that, Daniel. But now we're going to cash in, Like,
yeah.
It's just, and that's not a personal thing against him doing a good job or not. It's just like, well, we have no longer any use for you, but thanks,
Thank you for the money.
Get out.
We're going. It's time to spend. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for making us all that money over the years. Now we're about to make even more. You're not. I think he still has like 30% stake in, or the Levy family through trust and stuff. He's off the board, I think, but he still owns like 30% of the shares. So if there is a sale, he'll be fine. Not that he isn't fine already, but I guess it's just more the kind of, he's been the public face of this. He's taken the brunt of all this kind of abuse for all these years, and now after he's been rewarded with a public sacking where he doesn't even get to say I stepped down. It's like, no, just to set the record straight, we got rid of him. It's not about the money anymore. It's just kind of like, why? Why can't you let the man say that he resigned, that he'd taken the club as far as he could? Why you drag his name to the mud? Like, no, he's been sacked. He's not any good at the job, in our opinion. Like, whenever it happens to Spurs, if you're Daniel Levy, do you take another job somewhere else, or do you say, listen, I've done my time as a public hate figure. Maybe it's time to just, watch the game like everybody else. Because I'm assuming he's a Spurs fan. That's why he did it for so long as well. Like, would he have the same passion for cost cutting at Aston Villa or Nottingham Forest?
Especially when you've done things the right way and then this happens. Do you really give a fuck about trying to do it again somewhere else? Like, yeah,
somewhere you're not a fan of, even just cutting costs for no reason. Just like, fuck. Everybody hates me now. I don't even love the club. I don't want the club to succeed. I could care less. I like to say when you already got the money, it's like, fuck, just retire and live in fucking Italy. Watch Serie A games if you want.
I mean, I'm sure there's a cushy FIFA or UEFA job for him. That seems to be the way to go for a lot of these people.
To cut costs at FIFA? I don't think so. I don't think they're hiring Daniel Levy.
Maybe he's done with cutting costs. Maybe it's time for him to spend.
No, he's got the reputation now. If he could do that, he'd still be at Spurs. Well, he's the cost cutting guy. There's no way that FIFA are bringing on board to like make it miserable. Not for them, for other people maybe, but no, I don't think he's got a cushy FIFA job, unfortunately for him. I think it's he could do a great job. Like I say, taking Spurs from where they were to where they are now. There's loads of clubs that would say, please do that for us. We're not going to win the league. We don't care about that. We just want it to be sustainable, stay in the Premier League, and we can build a base from there, Like Aston Villa, like we were talking about. Like they've done very well, but like they're stretched in terms of the money they have and the wages they pay and the revenue. Like that's, I guess, a different tactic. But, if you could say to Aston Villa, you're going to be in the Premier League guaranteed for the next 10 years, but you might get to one final and you never know. They'd take it. The owners would take it. Maybe the fans and the players wouldn't, but like there's clubs all over the country that would be like, yeah, get Daniel Levy in. But I don't know if he has the passion for it. I guess his legacy is probably the Champions League final that they didn't win and the watches. I guess that's probably what I'll remember him for.
Yeah, like it's nice because we only really kind of heard of him. We had no idea there was an audit going on about his job. We just saw he was gone one day. So it's nice that we've got to just experience kind of like, almost like a cartoon version of Levy. We don't know any of the ins and outs.
No, we don't know the real person. We just know that he was this idiot who couldn't win anything with Spurs. But yeah, if they won that Champions League, it would have been all different. But I mean, they shouldn't have bought them those damn watches, Champions League finalists. If you were trying to do that to the other team, you couldn't think of a more diabolical psychological trick, psychological damaging stunt to pull. Congratulations again at the final. What the fuck's that supposed to mean? Just you've done well to get this far.
Should we do that against Hungary, maybe?
Congratulations on make it to the playoff. I don't know. But it's that level of psychological warfare. Doing your own players is just obviously it's not doing it on purpose, which is worse because then it's like you don't even realize what you're doing. It's incompetence. It's terrible. So, yeah, I mean that's maybe for me what I'll remember from Daniel Levy's time at Spurs. But I guess for the Spurs fans, maybe they'll remember the good times. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because it's one of those things. It happens all the time in football where the whole time for years with Spurs fans it's like, get this Levy guy out. He's killing us. He's crushing us. There's no spending. But then the second he's sacked, it's like, it could be a lot worse, though, to be fair. Fair play to him.
Yeah. Give him his flowers while he can spell them. That's what they say. But, look, end of an era, I suppose, I Spurs. For better or for worse.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the time.
No problem.
So, just continue the optimism of the Irish national team. We decided we're gonna reminisce. We're gonna go back into the old memory hole there and pick out some of our favorite Irish national team memories, I guess. Mm-hmm. But of course, we're clip farming here, so I mean, don't think it's anything else than that. We're gonna do it in the format that is popular at the time, which is blind ranking. So we have some various different moments that I'm going to blind rank from 1 to 5. Is that right?
That's correct. You're going to blind rank from 1 to 5. And because it's blind ranking, you got to play it's a bit of a game because you don't know what the next moment coming up could be. It might be 5 of the greatest moments of all time. One of them might be not so good.
Okay, well, the stakes are very, very low, so I'm excited.
Okay, I don't care.
I didn't say that. Different words out of my mouth. All right, now I do care. Now I want to get this perfect.
So, this is blind ranking top 5 Irish moments. First up, Shane Long goal against Germany.
The Euro 2016 qualifiers. That was pretty sweet. Do you know what? I mean, I'm assuming you don't have any thing from Italian 19 here because I don't fucking remember that.
No, I made sure I didn't have anything that we would not know.
I remember that game. That was great. I'm just going to go. I'm going to break tradition here of every top 5 thing I've ever seen. I'm going to say number 1. For me, that's number 1.
Yeah, it's up there, isn't it? I mean, it's
not up there, Will. It's number 1 for me.
It is there.
It's right there at number 1. I mean, that the one against Neuer where he knocked it in on the road. I think bounced twice. He fumbled it with his knee. Terrible first touch, but it worked out. And then blasted in again. Not a control finish. Shouldn't have gone top corner from there, but he did. What a goal!
And again, it was just a big long lump against Germany.
Oh yeah, that's us.
Dying minutes
that
of the game.
Us.
No one saw it coming. So second, then I've got Robbie Brady goal against Italy. Very similar.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I was in Euro 2016, I guess. We need to win that game. I will say Italy were through, and they were playing Sirigu in goal. And if you watch that goal back, not the shit in the goal, but like Sirigu was a no man's land. If that was Buffon, that ball's getting caught, and it's nothing. The Wes Hoolahan chances, were really messed up there. But yeah, I know. I think that's probably still pretty good though, because it was a great moment, all the rest of it. But I think number 3 for that.
Okay, number 3. I will say one thing about that. I usually would have that higher, but only because I think that is we were in our prime of going to the pub and watching these things. And this was it felt like our first like international tournaments. We're in the pub for all the games. That felt like a big moment. All right, so third. So you have that third.
Yeah.
Okay. James McLean scores against Wales to send Ireland into playoffs. Was it the Euro playoffs? I actually can't remember.
I think it was the 2020 playoffs, I think. So was this like 2019? And I think we didn't win that. We didn't win that.
We got hammered
in that Euros.
I think we got hammered by Denmark.
It was a great goal though, and because it was James McLean as well, that was pretty good. But I guess just to take the moment on its own. And that was the revenge for Seamus Coleman, of course, as well.
Yeah, and I mean, the optimism that it brought.
Yeah,
this is it. It's happening.
We're going back-to-back Euros. Here we go. Yeah, there was Denmark. Oh yeah, Denmark. Forget Denmark, right? The James McLean goal. That was a great goal, great moment. Number 2.
Number 2. Wow. Okay, I've got Adam Ida scores to bring score to 2-2 against Hungary.
I mean, it was good, but I think that's 5th. That just happened. I have recency bias with that, and that's 5th because it's like, it was grand, but like,
you've done well there to get that into 5th. And so, what number do you have left then, Kyle?
4.
Okay, not the worst. Could have gone worse for you because the last moment is Roy Keane announces he is leaving Ireland team in Saipan.
Vague memories of that, I suppose. That was honestly, as a moment, it was very exciting. It was
pretty cool. It was pretty
scary.
Crazy.
It was kind of like, whoa, what's happening? And just it was kind of it was just the national kind of hysteria over it. Was like something to behold as a small child. It was like, what is happening? And not really quite understanding the stakes of it. That was intense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so you've done well there.
I think, maybe. I think that's probably right, actually. I think I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest.
Yeah, you didn't fall for any of the slips. I was hoping maybe you'd leave Roy Keane first or McLean first. Yeah. But you've played well. You've seen a blind ranking before.
I have. Too many. That's a pretty successful international game so far. We got one more coming up against Armenia. I guess they're all must win. But it's not a sure thing, I guess, is the feeling. It's not like, we're definitely win this one. We do have to win this one, and possibly by a lot of goals, but there's always the chance I might lose it. Draw, definitely high chance, and then we could even lose it. So that game is happening Wednesday night, Tuesday night?
Tuesday night, I think.
Tuesday night. We'll be covering that on the Patreon pod, patreon.com/no nonsense. We're going to cover all that plus any other international stuff. I know England are playing a game or two. I saw a bit of comparisons between Gareth Southgate playing Andorra or who did they play? They beat them 5-0.
It was Andorra, yeah.
Andorra. They beat Andorra 5-0. This time they beat them 2-0. A lot of kind of anti-German talk on sports. What's it called? Sports.
Talk Sports. Flip them.
On Talk Sport, yeah. On Talk Sport, a lot of anti-German talk on Talk Sport. It's building for their World Cup, Will. So,
it's coming.
whatever happens to us, we'll always have that. that's going to happen as well. So that's nice. Whatever happens during the week, any other long-standing club minority shareholders are sacked, we'll be all over it this time. It won't be a shock to us or you if you're subscribed to the Ultra Patreon. So,
do you want to know what's funny? Actually, I was thinking this. So far this season, we recorded on the first Monday. We missed the Liverpool-Newcastle game. All-timer. Missed it. Second episode, we record during the Man United-Grimsby game. Miss it. All-timer. This one, maybe we're not doing a midweek episode this week. International break. It's not actually happening. We normally record on Thursday. Thursday night, Daniel Levy sacked.
Yeah, that's it.
What's happening next?
Well, whatever happens next, you'll get on the Ultra Pod.
We're getting this one, yeah.
That's the promise. It has to happen this time. It has to. We're like the Ireland team. It just has to fall right for us. But when it does, massive piss up. And you can be part of it. So yeah, thanks for listening. And we'll see you next week. Good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many, many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.